Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a glorious Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. We thank you guys so much for joining us all along the platforms on YouTube, Facebook, X, FanStreamSports.com. Thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of you were staying up late last night. We're not going to talk any politics in this show today. Maybe late in the show, but certainly not now. We got too much other stuff to get to. And we're going to talk a lot of USF today. We've got a lot of we got Michael Kelly, their athletic director, is going to join us here. Lots going on at USF, so we'll get into that with the stadium dedication coming up. We're going to talk a lot of Buccaneers today as the Bucs stand pat and no trades made while everybody's making moves. We got a lot of other things to get to in college football with the college football playoff. So settle in, folks. We got 2 hours of Tampa Bay sports-centric stuff coming your way as we do each and every day. I'll say good morning to you, IndyCar Tim, in our Dallas studio. How are you? Looking good there, brother. Haven't
good
seen
morning.
the Dallas
Doing well.
studio in a bit. Yeah, it looks good.
JP show fans haven't seen the Dallas studio in a while, so thought we'd share some of this.
I'll be back in our South Tampa studio tomorrow. So without further ado, Timmy, I'm going to welcome in the athletic director for the University of South Florida, Mr. Michael Kelly, who joins us this morning. Thank you so much for getting up early, Michael. Early for me, anyway. It was a long night for a lot of people I know. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Always great to join you, JP. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, there's so much going on at USF. We really appreciate you jumping on. We have a lot of USF fans that tune in every day, and they're already sending me questions to ask you. But we've got plenty here to. I'm sure you've got all those in your email box anyway to get to. Hey, I wanted to start obviously with the biggest news that has hit your campus in quite some time, and it was tragic news with Amir Abdur-Rahim passing away so soon at the age of 43. The indelible mark that he left on your university is so obvious. And then just met him a few times and had him on my show. He left a mark on me. You know, when you don't cross paths with someone so many times and they still leave a mark, it's the mark of a man that has touched so many lives. I was unable to attend the service on Saturday. I had a previous trip planned, and I saw a lot of it. It was very emotional. What was it like for you? What have these last few weeks been like for you in the university?
Well, obviously it's been extremely, extremely hard. It's, the only solace you can take is knowing that you're going through it with a lot of people that cared about and loved Amir, and they're starting to realize more every day just the kind of impact that he had, as you mentioned, just an extremely special person. And, our immediate focus and continued focus was certainly on the family, and certainly on particularly our basketball program. But as you start to think more beyond who it impacted, I think whether you met him once or twice like you did, many times like some of us were blessed to in the Selman Center, or if you just kind of connected with him through his social media or through watching him from afar, I think you felt a connection to him. I think that was part of the magic of Amir is that finding that link with everybody. He experienced a lot of things in his life. He loved people, and just kind of finding a way that where do you guys connect, no matter where you're from, how old you are, whether you're a basketball fan or not. He found a way to connect, and he connected with every single person here on campus, and you can see it from the way he connected with the student body as well. That was part of the spirit of what came about, not just the performance of the basketball team last year, but to seeing the whole Yangling Center energized with the campus community and the Tampa Bay community. So it hit hard. It's something that'll hit hard for a long time, but we have to move forward, mostly thinking about the things that he did and what he represented. And I think that's what all our people are taking solace in. So that Rio named the student section after in Amir's honor.
I love that.
We've got a special home and home series with Kennesaw State where they won. I mean, think about it, back-to-back conference championships at Kennesaw and USF, where neither one had ever done it before. He does it back-to-back years in our place in the first year. So we'll have a home and home with them named after him in the Love Wins Classic and many other tributes we've seen throughout the country this first week of college basketball. I think there's been a moment of silence all over the country, and certainly the American Athletic Conference.
I love the motto, love wins. It's especially, I think, perfect for this day, to be honest with you, and what our country needs in healing, and I think Amir represented that. I'm just curious, when you first met him, like, what was that interview like? Like, did you walk out of that interview going, wow, I think I found my guy?
I remember having a kind of a Zoom interview like what we're doing.
Yeah.
First time I ever met him, and just came away so impressed. We knew the kind of year he was having, just kind of having a conversation. Then that was a couple days before his NCAA tournament game that they played up in Greensboro, and then watching them perform really well. Probably could have and should have won that game against Xavier. And then obviously I think everyone kind of saw the emotion and the realness and authenticity that he displayed to his team after that game, even in a losing cause. This is what kind of where the love wins aspect kind of came from that. And then when we met in person, just kind of met at my house and just kind of talked for a while. And what he really preached at the end of the day was mostly the theme of connectedness, and talking about, hey, he specifically said, look, I don't make promises I can't keep, but I will promise is that we will be the most connected team in college basketball. And I remember even when we had a couple rough games early in the year, like he called me after we had a really poor showing up at Hofstra, and he said, MK, these guys have to learn a lesson, and until they start playing together, and they will start playing together, it'll come together. And then lo and behold, we go on a 20-game win streak after that when they start connecting, and then it connected the rest of it. So, and I remember, it's funny, he loved it because my wife was there, greeted him at the house when we got there. When he left and I was leaving out, she said, that's your guy. And so I told him that. He never let me forget it. He says, hey, Lisa Kelly's really the one that knew who the guy is. So he was fantastic.
Nice to have that confirmation from the wife, though, right? That you're like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Absolutely. Michael Kelly joining us here, USF Athletic Director. I go back to that FAU game, and, I've been covering your program for a long, long time, 27 years, and been a lot of ups and downs for the basketball program, a lot of downs. And that atmosphere was just incredible. It was a historic moment. I've covered a lot of big games here historically in pro and in college sports, the USF West Virginia game, some of these moments that you just never forget. That will be one I never forget. The students will never forget. And I'm guessing that you'll never forget. And those are the things that'll never go away, that will always be there, and will always represent this man, and he will always be part of your program. And the mark that he left still lives today within that team. Just talk about that moment and moving forward in a positive way.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because as you were talking about that day, I truly just got some goosebumps, because it's one of those things, and you've covered so many sports, not just us here in the Tampa Bay area, you kind of know. Sometimes you just get a feeling when you know something special is going to happen, I think I knew we were going to win that game. I knew the crowd, you just knew things were going in the right direction, and to see the whole city come behind that and see that sellout and the vibe in that building was awesome. And then we went up by 20 some odd points. Rockin' held on for a tight game. And, but everyone just, I think if you were there, you're always going to remember that. And that springboarded to not only our very first top 25 ranking in program history, it led on to going on to win the regular season title, and then obviously even more sellouts after that, because everyone was saying, "Hey, you're selling out because you're playing another ranked team. This is a big day." It was a Sunday, but hey, that was a Sunday at noon on a rainy day.
That's right.
Came back and had an unranked team at 9 o'clock. A couple Tuesdays later, another unranked team at 7 o'clock on a weeknight. So it wasn't about who we were playing for once. It was about USF. And it was about the sense of community that Amir brought together. So beyond the love wins aspect of treating each other with respect and kindness, I think the main thing I hope is that people realize that, look, he's built a great team. Mm-hmm. He's built a great staff that I have a ton of confidence in for this year, led by Coach Fletcher. And as I think you saw, I know we came up a little short the other night against Florida, but let's give credit. Florida's a really good team. And
led at the half.
I was very encouraged by the way our team played and the depth of our team.
Yeah. So tell me, from what I can gather from Ben Fletcher, I don't know him much, but he's clearly picked up on all the themes that Amir brought. He seems incredibly energetic. As you mentioned, the team played great. How do you parlay this man's, meteoric moment here at USF into this next edition of the Ben Fletcher team in this basketball team?
Yeah, I think the best thing we can do is for our campus community, the SoFlo Rodeo, and all of those that love basketball here in Tampa Bay. Let's continue to build on the momentum we saw last year. Not only as a tribute to Amir, but as a tribute to these kids and what we're doing here at USF in terms of this program. We're entertaining. Which we're the main game in town with, along with Jose's team. So we truly are Tampa Bay's home for hoops. So I really want people to be thinking a lot about coming out to the Angling Center for both teams. And when you look at it, hey, like I said, part of the magic of Amir was also adapting to modern times in the modern college program, right? And so he built a staff, and we helped provide him the resources to build that staff. That is great coaches. There's obviously Ben's been with him for 5 years now, as it relates to his right hand man as an assistant. They played together. They knew they played against each other in college. Right, they've known each other for a long time. So they have the X and O's of a similar mindset. Similar spirit. Ben knows the accountability and is involved in recruiting with all these folks, but the rest of our staff similarly strong. I mean, you've got head coaches and Dez has been a former head coach. Joy Williams, our chief of staff, has been a former head coach, and so there's just a lot of knowledge there, a lot of love for Amir. But again, this was done as a staff, as we know, and I think you even reported on when Coach got the Coach of the Year. He made it very clear it was
staff of the year.
And so
he really changed the nameplate on that trophy.
He really did.
He really did. Yeah. Folks don't know the story. He said he would, if he won a Coach of the Year award, he would change the nameplate. So he went out and got it changed and put it on.
I don't know when he did it, but I think I relayed in the press conference. I was during the hurricane, during Milton. He and the basketball team were up in Jacksonville, and they were coming back. And I was in his conference room because it was the only place in the athletic district here that had power. So I was powering up everything, kind of coordinating a lot of logistics from there. And I kind of happened to, when I was packing up my briefcase, I kind of looked and saw that lo and behold, it said Staff of the Year. So I remember when Fletch and I were walking down the stairs to go to the press conference, I pointed that out to him and said, hey, he delivered on that promise too, So.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So Michael, obviously a lot of other things going on at USF. Let's talk stadium here. I know you had to obviously delay the groundbreaking, but that's happening on Friday. Tell us a little bit about that. And it's just what this means for this university. It's been coming for a long time, but the moment is here. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a special day. 3:30 on Friday. We're going to be able to break ground on that stadium. As we all know, it's a very historically significant site. It's the site on Sycamore Fields where back 27 years ago, that's where Coach Levitt and all the original team would practice on. That was our original practice field. So to kind of have our forever home be at the same place where the first drops of blood, sweat, and tears is a historically significant thing, but it's also just an awesome location for completing what I think is going to be one of the finest athletic districts in college sports, to have it really adjacent to our indoor that we just built last year, to kind of know that the operations building component of it will be right there. So thinking about the training aspect for our football program forevermore will be elite and second to none. And then building a very modern and right-sized stadium that's branded the right way and everything. It's just going to be tremendous. So it'll be a magical day, something that Bulls fans have looked forward to since we ever started. I know it's a long time coming, but I also think in the big scheme of things, we want things instantaneously nowadays. I know that.
Right. Yep.
But the university put some great priorities on attaining some academic goals with preeminence and AAU, and we're now kind of working together with getting more support from the community and from the university to put these things athletically on the horizon. And they're not doing it just for athletics. They know what it'll do for student spirit, for school spirit, for student life, for engagement with the community at large, but certainly with the 400,000 alums of USF that can now, when they come to homecoming, like we have homecoming this week, playing Navy down at Raymond James. It'll be awesome. Great day playing, great opponent coming in. But, it's one thing to have a couple hours of fun at Raymond James, but when you get to come back to a campus like so many other prominent college programs do, that's just different, special. And that's something we just haven't had the opportunity to, and now we will going forward from 2027 and beyond. So it'll be a great day, and can't thank the leadership of Will Weatherford and Rhea Law and many, many others that have helped make this possible. But we're excited about it.
And it's not just for football, right? There's so many other things that this stadium is going to be used for, correct?
Yeah, certainly our lacrosse team will play their regular season games in there as well. But we just look forward to whether it's different concerts that we can host, different events that we work in conjunction with our partners at Vinix Sports Group when they bring things in, our partners with Tampa Bay Sports Commission that Rob Higgins and company bring in. I mean, we can bid on FCS championships, NCAA soccer, NCAA lacrosse. Obviously, the international friendlies would be better suited for a 35,000 seat venue than a 65,000 seat venue at Raymond James. So we're just kind of rounding out the portfolio of Team Tampa Bay too, which I think is awesome because now we already have great amenities now with all the events that we all host here in the community, and we're just another great venue to add into that. But and just for the students on 7 game days on Saturday to kind of be able to walk down the street from their dorm room instead of having to commute and all that stuff, it'll be special, and it'll activate this campus unlike anything we've seen before.
Michael Kelly joining us here, USFAD. Well, the football team has gone through a very interesting season, obviously, with Byron Brown going down. Bryce Archie stepped up, and you've got a couple of wins now. You got Navy coming in, as you mentioned, homecoming on Saturday, a ranked 6-2 team. This is a big deal. It's a big game. Just from a football perspective, how important is this? You've got 3 winnable games right after that. Another bowl berth is very, very doable here as this program continues to rise. What are your thoughts on this Saturday's game?
Yeah, I'm excited about it just even before the football side, just because, it wasn't originally planned for homecoming, but the storm pushed it back. So that's always special. And then so perfectly positioned to have the Naval Academy rolling in on Veterans Day weekend when we already had all of our salute to service programming around that. So that'll be
cool as that.
Great to be able to salute all of our friends in the military community. But this one goes deeper with all the things we went through with the storms too, to be able to honor and reward first responders to come out to the game and kind of enjoy a game out there as well. So please come out for that. I think that'll be a lot of fun and poignant for very many people. But when you get to the football side itself, it's an important game.
Huge.
I mean, make no mistake about it. We've played a very challenging schedule. I mean, we played 2 top 10 teams in the first CFP rankings that are well positioned right now, and then we Tulane, I think should make a case, quite frankly, for being a top 25 as
Absolutely.
well. They're a very good program. And then I think all things considered, we didn't perform well against Memphis, but I feel very confident that we, not absent the hurricane in the first game with a new starter, I think we would have shown much better in that one.
That would have been a big night, at Raymond James, a Friday night, a big game. That would have been huge. And Storm did what it did. You guys did a great job, by the way, just handling that situation. That must have been a nightmare for you. I can't even imagine what that logistics were like.
Yeah, that was a lot for that. That was all of our 520 student athletes finding the right home for them with no power and all that. But getting back to Saturday, Navy's had a great year. They changed their offense up a little bit. They're 6-2, so we know it's a formidable opponent, a big obstacle for us. But I know we're up for the challenge and ready to kind of tackle the rest of the year. Getting to 6, 7, 8 wins would be another great step forward for us, and that's kind of what we looking forward to. How do you keep making progress, right? To go to a bowl game and win it last year, be in position to go to a bowl game now, potentially finish 6-2 in the conference. Gosh knows where that could land in terms of the standings. So we're really pleased. We always wanted to kind of look at the way you keep elevating up through this conference and to be in a position to challenge for winning that conference championship. So lots on the table and looking forward to a great November, but we're positioned well for making every goal we had this year come true.
Yeah, and big win at FAU, I guess a new rival. And now you get to raise some money with the Tom Herman versus Alex Golesh charity boxing tournament. Can we get
That sounds like a good.
Listen,
good thing that JP Peterson could sponsor. That sounds right down your alley.
listen. I love
would appreciate the NIL contributions. I'm sure.
Listen, I love some petty stuff. When it comes to football, I love that stuff. And we can laugh about. I laugh about this stuff. You're gonna get an onside kick. Well, we might just go for 2. I love it. I mean, for you, it helps sell tickets, right? We got to get some rivalries going.
That's right, man. It's all about winning. There's times you pick your battles, and sometimes you let coach go, and that was the time to let coach go.
I know you're the boss. You're like, that's okay. You know what? It made Sports Center. Everybody's happy. Let's move on. In the college football playoff, something obviously you've been very instrumental in making happen, and over the years, and now the first 12-team playoff rankings come out last night. I'm looking at these matchups. I'm like, man, why haven't we done this for the last 20 years? This is fun.
Isn't that the truth? I mean,
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I mean, you got to be kind of proud.
It's better. It's turning out better than I even thought, to be honest with you. Because I knew when we went to the 4-game, that was better. It was an improvement. You always look like, how do you make improvements? And after going through that for 10 years, obviously there was hunger for more. I think I shared early on, I always wanted to expand even before, but certainly more so now from the position I stand today to give us access to the chance of having the American champion get into the playoff, which is certainly always possible. But man, you're right. Looking at the matchups of what could be possible, people wondered, it will be all watered down now. There's not any good teams anymore. But man, you look at I know there's still some, as you knew there would be, there's still some arguments about, hey, 13, 14, 15 should still be maybe higher than that. But it's hard to argue with those top 10 teams not being, playoff worthy and really kind of deliver something that's going to be really entertaining for the country over the course of December and January.
Yeah, that's it's super fun. And speaking of conferences, I know a lot of this stuff goes on behind the scenes, so I always like to ask you, what can you tell us? What can you tell us? You've done such a great job positioning USF academically and from a sports standpoint. The stadium obviously is a huge part of this. What can you tell USF fans about where you sit and if things are going to change soon, or there's talk that it may take a few years? What are your thoughts on what's next for USF from a conference standpoint?
I think all you can do is keep looking at what's even happened in recent years, and nothing has ever really gone, even in the recent alignment, has gone according to any sort of plan or predicted path or timeline.
Yeah.
It literally could happen any day, and I'm not saying anything's imminent at all because you just don't know. It's somebody always kind of shifts or some trigger point kind of comes about to kind of make things kind of dominoes fall. When Texas and Oklahoma left and when different people left, you just don't know what kind of that leads to. What I would say is, hey, look, we're doing everything we can to position ourselves and be known about what we're doing to position ourselves with all the Power 4 leagues that currently exist. They're aware of us. They know the trajectory of USF. And that's all you can do right now is continue to build up that portfolio for whether that minute comes tomorrow, whether it comes 3 years from now. Most likely it's more type of thing when things kind of happen, when these television contracts for all the different leagues kind of expire at the end of this decade, in terms of like, look, is there major changes in those leagues themselves in terms of what they're looking for? Are they all going to go to 20 teams? Are they all going to go to 16? Who knows? But I think the biggest thing for us is to really focus not just on those specific conferences, but to also look at how we elevate the American as best we can and be a consistent performer in that. And I'm happy with that. How do we keep moving up to try to win that league to get in the CFP? That's important for us on football. Yeah. I'm proud of our teams as we stand in the fall right now. We're in first in volleyball. We're in second in both men's and women's soccer, both in the semifinals to try to win conference championships there. Nice. So you're trying to look for comprehensive excellence in everything we do. Academics are already clearly stated. The Tampa Bay community is already an awesome media market. We need to continue to be known in all these sports as a really competitive program, and then kind of punch through, particularly in football and basketball. That's why it was important to win basketball last year. I think it's important to continue to elevate football and continue up the trajectory that Coach Golis has got us on. And then obviously even Coach Jose to continue to try to keep winning leagues consistently there as well, and the types of teams he's bringing in. So long-winded way of saying, look, we've got to keep on the track that we are, make us as good as we possibly can be, not just to be attractive to leagues when they need us, but to also be ready for hopefully, again, it's more important about how Division I is being in the sport and the college sports industry is just in a state of flux right now. And so I look at it more like, hey, what is going to be the quote unquote top tier of Division I sports? Is it going to be the 130 some odd teams that play in FBS now? Is it going to be 100? Is it going to be 80? Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be 40? Who knows?
What do you think? You know more than anybody. Where is this?
Well, I don't think anyone actually knows. I mean, I think it's actually clear that there's going to be some streamlining of it, but I think it seems to be centered around with the different lawsuits and with the different path toward providing more benefits to student athletes and investments in that. So I think the tea leaves would indicate that you have to demonstrate being able to perform at high levels, and you need to be able to demonstrate that you're making the right investments. And I think with us pouring more and more into the facilities that we're building that we talked about earlier in the show, by continuing to win, by continuing to add more scholarships, more NIL, more eventually potentially revenue sharing, assuming this House settlement gets finalized here in the spring like we expected it will. Yeah. So all those things are important. And so we're trying to look the part, invest the part, and do everything that we're learning about what the current P4 does, right? Knowing that whether it's going to be P4, 5, or 6, or a bigger P4, 5, or a bigger P2, or whatever it's going to be, tell us what the rules of engagement are. We'll be there to meet it. And that's kind of what we're working hard on in terms of just providing the resources, raising the resources, and being as smart as we can to adapt to making a model athletic department for these modern times. That's really all you can do, because you just don't know you got to be prepared to show those investment levels. And that's what we've really done dramatically in these last 3 or 4 years.
Well, as you know, millions of USF fans watch this show every day. So what's the message you have for the fans and supporters of USF that they need to do to help you, to put the best face on this when you bring the resume forward? And it's constant evaluation out there, from these other leagues, and they're looking at everything. If you could sit down with everybody, all 400,000, and speak to them, what would you say to them? Like, what do we need from you guys, the ground troops here, to help us have the best resume?
Best thing fans can do is we have to continue to build our fan base, right?
Yeah.
We have 400,000 alumni, right? We're striving to get to 5,000 donors to the athletic department. We got to get up to the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 donors to the athletic department. People buying season tickets to the Yangling Center, people buying season tickets to our football program, knowing that when we start selling tickets for this new stadium that we're talking about, that thing needs to be sold out and packed every time. 35,000,
Yep.
that type of home field advantage, that type of image of this rabid school spirit, rabid fan base is what we need. So the best way, certainly we're blessed and very appreciative of some of the donors that have given us money at the highest levels. We're very fortunate in that. We've got 37 people that are what we call Bulls Club legends that have given over $1 million in their lifetime to USF athletics.
Wow.
That's really big for a program of our age, to be honest with you. That's very rare. So we're grateful for that. And now I think the improvement we need to make now is we need to expand that base to get behind us. And that means win or lose. That means if you love USF and you want us to kind of keep getting up there, we've got to get our donors levels up, and we've got to get our fan base growing in a positive way. And the trajectory is there, and we're trying to put a product on that'll make them attractive to do that just for the sake of the sports side. But we need to go deeper in that. We're Tampa Bay's team. We're USF's teams. And we're one of the best values in sports in Tampa Bay. You can get season tickets for $150, folks, for football and basketball.
Yeah, how about that?
Let's get out there, have a good time, support these young men and women, and be there. But if I had to say anything, then that's what it takes. It's like, we'll keep investing. We're learning. We're going to keep doing everything we can to put the best
involved
to get our players out there. But I need to be able to show that fan base that's really passionate. And there's been people that have been there from day one. How do all those people that have been with us now and forever keep building and keep growing? And again, that's not a critique and that's a complaint. That's truly just how we keep building.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We're young. We've only been playing 27 years on the football side. So I get it.
That's baby.
But now it's an exciting time. It's a competitive team and one that I think is very exciting. So
let's
grow together. Let's grow.
You've also had a first. You turned down a P5 conference. So evidently, I got to ask you, like, what was that when the Pac-12 or the Pac-2 or the Pac whatever it was, when they came calling? I mean, 10 years ago, sure, but everything's changed. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very rapid evaluation, and one that they were kind of trying to just see what they could do as they were trying to make their moves. And you can still see weeks later, the Pac-12 and the Mountain West are still kind of in a stalemate in terms of what they're doing. And it's always flattering to be thought of. You want to be looked at from a lot of things, and you have to evaluate it because you said it's a very unstable time in college sports. We believe in what we're the way we're going about things in terms of investing in the players, investing in our facilities. We know we're doing all the right things. Then you have to couple that with making the right decision about, hey, how do we make the American the best we can to continue to elevate our revenues there? We're very pleased with the leadership of Commissioner Pernetti, who's looking very aggressively at ways to raise revenue for all of our programs, which is vital. Mm-hmm. But you have to be open-minded and look at any opportunity that comes its way. And at the end of the day, just in terms of what that former league and brand had lost, really lost 10 of their 12 teams, the distance involved, the lack of guaranteed revenue or really any better revenue than what we already have made it at the end of the day, just not the right move at the right time at this particular time. And so it was something that had to be evaluated. I know it's talked about a lot, but it's we have to make the smart move too. And the smart move is to continue to invest, to be ready for wherever we go. And and that's how we're looking at our metrics now. It's like not just how do we try to continue to invest and get support from donors and ticket sales to be the best in the American. How do we look down the line in terms of either a revised Division I system or whatever other conference could join? We need to try to be ready for that. You don't want to go somewhere and then just be bottom of the barrel. Then you got to kind of have the progressive plan, assuming that what you don't know what it's going to be yet, but something's going to come, something's going to change, and you have to be ready for it. So we're kind of looking at it more in a long-term play, but again, we've got to be nimble and ready that it could happen It could happen tomorrow if somebody moved or somebody said we want to expand and have a different thing for the TV. But like I said, most likely it's going to be two things. What happens with the true structure of Division I,
Right.
whatever that might be, probably in the next year or two in terms of what's defining that.
Yeah.
And then as a result of what defines that, how will that make either current conferences or new alliances or conferences or new structures be in the future? And what would be the best thing for us then? So all I ever ask from anyone that's out there, I mean, for our fans, we just got to keep growing our fan base from to others in the powers that be in college sports. It's all I ask is that you look at not just what happened in the past, not just look at universities that have been around for 100 years or for folks that were able to be a part of a conference when they were joined in the back rooms of a country club back in the 1950s before we were born.
Right.
Look at what's happening now. And I don't think you want to leave out a great university, an AAU university in the 11th largest market in the country, beautiful weather, and then a program that goes along with it. We have to continue to prove and prove that we're comprehensively excellent.
Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again while you're here. USF is blessed to have you. You're so well connected, and you have done a phenomenal job since coming to USF, and you continue to do. And having you at the tip of the spear here is absolutely incredible for USF at this time, because it's time for innovation. It's time for new ideas. It's time for people to get things done. And you're the man. And I really appreciate you spending a half hour this morning with us. And I know your fans love it. You're always accessible to them, and you've been through a lot in the last few weeks. I appreciate you taking the time. Continued success, Michael, and I will see you on Saturday. Thank you,
JP. You're very kind, and go Bulls.
Yep, go Bulls. Love it. Yeah, I need a new home. The Seminole thing ain't working out so well, so I'm definitely on the bandwagon. So thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Take care now. All right,
you got it. Michael Kelly there, USF athletic director. Yeah, I'm getting on. I'm going with a team that's going to a bowl game, for God's sakes. Hell
bandwagoner.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I've always said I'm a semi bowl. Now I'm a bowl semi now. I think that might be put them first. What a great dude, man. He is. Yeah. When I first heard that USF, that he took that job, I was like, wow. This is the perfect man for the perfect time. I mean, USF hit a freaking grand slam. And listen, I know fans, some of the hires didn't work out, but it's hard to do. And the situation that he's in, getting people and keeping people at USF, I mean, you get a great coach, everybody's coming after him. It's tough. So he's done a great job. And I think USF is very well positioned right now. The stadium thing was humongous. So we'll see that breaking ground on Friday. And listen, they'll have a stadium completed before the Rays do.
Wow.
Think about that. Think about how long the Rays have been trying to get this done. Well, listen, when you have willing partners, it's easier to do.
That's true.
Yeah. When you have willing partners who are trying to when everybody's working in the same direction, there's not one of the entities trying to suck the other entity dry. It's funny how that works, and it all comes together. So
that is funny.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we got lots of Buck stuff to get to. The Lightning took another loss last night, took another L. The college football rankings, as we mentioned, and lots of other stuff as we go through this day.
I just may give my personal NFL top 5 power rankings this week.
Oh, well, I'm working on that. I'm looking forward to. I got to get your take on the whole Todd Bowles thing too from the other night. We'll rehash some of the Chiefs, Buck stuff as well, and look forward to the Niners. So we got lots to do here on the JP Peterson Show. Big thanks to Michael Kelly and all our sponsors as well. The Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves and his team of attorneys will get you right. Whatever the problem is, whatever the legal issue is, they'll give you a free case evaluation. So if you're having problems with an insurance company, something at work, you've been involved in an accident, he's the man. Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you could find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Got me. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Now, that was an awesome interview. I really appreciate taking the time to do that. We're going to pump that out on social media. And I don't know what conference wouldn't want Michael Kelly and USF. You know, if I could say one thing is, get on board. You know, that 400,000 needs to activate. I know it's been a long slog for a lot of fans, USF fans, and it's, you know, there's been a couple of highs, mostly lows. I get it, but they're on the precipice of doing something special, and you got to come together. You know, I've always said this: the fans got to show up before the winning does. You know, in college, it works differently. You know, you can say, well, you know, win and they will come. Well, in college, you got to get your support up. You got to create an atmosphere in a football game or a basketball game So when recruits come in, they're like, wow, this is fun. You know, kids don't like playing in front of empty stadiums. That's why Miami will never be great on a consistent basis.
No.
I shot in. But USS has a great opportunity. They really do. And the time is now. So $160 for a freaking season ticket for football. that's like a meal.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's a meal for 4 people.
Take the whole family.
Yes, come on, Jiminy Christmas. It's and they got a good Navy team coming in here on Saturday. It's homecoming. It's a noon game. The Lightning play that night, so I'm gonna head on over and be there and cover that game. I'm looking forward to it. So
nice.
And get out. I mean, come. It's weather's gonna be great. It's a beautiful stadium. Good college football. There's a lot on the line. 2 winning teams. Why not? Get your ass over there. All right. Let's by the way, before we go any further, as we just had that Cafe Paradiso ad, would you like to opine about the meal that we had with Paulo Tini at top three restaurant and an open table? I just love that.
How is it not number one? That's my question. So yeah, I guess we haven't talked about it since I've been back from Tampa, my little excursion out there to Tampa. But as I said, I think as we were leaving the restaurant, as I told Paolo himself, staring him right in the eye, I said, "This is the most impressive and enjoyable dining experience I have ever had in my life." And I'm talking about, and I used to frequent some places similar to that level of food here in Dallas.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing in Dallas that I've ever experienced like what I did at Cafe Paradiso.
That wine was so good too. I could have had 7 bottles of that wine.
So I now have 3 bottles of that wine at my house.
What is it? Bassetti?
It was Barbera.
Barbera. Yeah.
Barbera. Yeah.
Yeah. We ordered the lasagna, the veal,
piccata,
I had the veal marsala, and we ordered a little side of fettuccine Alfredo.
Mm-hmm.
God, it was so good.
We did it. JP wasn't about to not share everyone's food, so he immediately ordered family style. Everybody's stuff goes into the middle of the table, and we're just going to pick on it. Me and Johnny were like, "All right, I guess you're the boss.
Let's go."
But it was great, man.
I hate to be limited. To one thing. I mean, there's so many good things on the menu, so I want to try a little bit of everything. So it was fantastic. So thanks to Paulo Tini. Listen, you're looking for a great meal at a good price, by the way. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not ridiculous. You know, and God, for some of the prices that are out there these days, it's very reasonable, extremely reasonable, and great service. I mean, the waiters there, the staff there, they've been there for a long time. They're professional waiters. They're not,
college
kids just got a job last week and don't even know the menu or anything else. Well, show up once every 25 minutes.
The gentleman that waited on us, Paolo said that he's been with him for 29 years.
29 years. How about that?
So you think he doesn't know the menu and the food?
No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, all right. I want to move on to the Buccaneers, and I think a lot of us as Bucs fans or media that have a vested interest in this team doing well are a little bit. I mean, when I read the list of players that were traded and what they were traded for, 5th round picks. I'm going to find that list so I can refer to it here a little bit. It was. I mean, I'm looking at these names going, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" I mean, this team has a chance. I mean, look at this team. They beat the Eagles, who are 6-2 now. They beat the Lions, their only loss, who I think looked like the best team in the NFC. They beat the Commanders, who are also leading their division. Yep. I mean, they've beaten some really, really good football teams, and I hate to say this, but I think it's true. Todd Bowles is holding this team back from a play calling standpoint and from a game management standpoint and a season management standpoint. He has crippled this franchise. So I think the fans were looking for Jason Light to help out, and listen, I know Jason Light wants the best for this team, and he probably wanted to go out and make 3 or 4 trades and kind of plug the holes. They didn't do that, and there's a reason for that. And I think this internally, they don't feel like this is a Super Bowl season, especially now that Chris is gone for the year, and Mike, is still TBD on how good he's going to be when he comes back. And I probably feel like Jason Light looks at this defense and said, yeah, I could probably throw an inside linebacker in there, go get you. I'm not going to be able to get a difference maker, edge rusher. Although look what the Lions just did. And for a 5th round pick, they got Zadarius
Smith.
Yeah. I mean, how would he look in a Buccaneers uniform? And you need and a 5th round pick doesn't seem like a lot to get a guy like that at a moment like that. But I think it just kind of tells you what their internal polling is doing right now, and saying that we're still building towards the future. We want to hold on to all of our draft picks and not make deals at the deadline for rental players. So I think it's frustrating for Buccaneer fans, but also I think we have to respect that Jason Light has earned the respect, and he knows what the F he's doing. He does. And he knows more about this team than we do. So if I'm going to be frustrated, and I'm going to say I wanted you to go out and get an experienced receiver. Look what that did for the Chiefs in D-Hop. And there were some really good ones that were traded for not much.
Right.
And you got to get another experienced receiver anyway in the offseason. But I think maybe he feels like they want to hold on to Chris Godwin, and maybe that's his play. And maybe he's already had conversations with Chris Godwin. When you get back, now he's not going to demand the contract that he once demanded, would be able to demand. He was going to be in the top 3 in league in receptions and yards, probably. He was going to have a career season, and that's been cut short. And as much as that sucks for him and his monetary future, it probably plays into the hands of the Bucs a little bit that they can keep him now. How explosive will he be, after a second major injury in the lower half? That remains to be seen. I know this. No one will work harder than Chris Godwin to get back and be great. No one. His mindset is already there. Back to work. Yep. So as he's being carted away. So listen, I know you are frustrated as a fan base. I'm frustrated. I wanted to see moves. There were players out there for low prices that would, without question, help this team this year. But 2 things, and Michael LaRue said this, and I think a lot of fans will echo this. I'm tired of the Bucs saying that they like their guys. I get that. I totally get that, because when they put their guys out there, the young guys, Funderburk, Josh Hayes, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. They didn't play well, but they're young, and they've never been forced into that situation. So it's hard for them to step up. But again, I just think this is where the organization and Jason Light feels like this team is. They want to hold on to all of their assets, all of their draft assets, which they've been very good with, by the way. It's not like a 5th round pick to Jason Light is not like a 5th round pick to other teams. He's turning them into starters. He's turning them into starters and good players. So I just got to sit here and say, look, they got Bucky Irving in the 4th. They got Jalen McMillan. They've done so well in the draft that you just got to say, let's trust them. Let's trust them. They know what they're doing. They're building towards the future. This was not a Super Bowl team anymore. And I think it says something about the head coach as well. And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
And what you don't want to do, what you don't want to happen as a fan base is for your team to go out and make a trade for the sake of making a trade.
Right.
For example, the Dallas Cowboys.
I knew where this was going. There's a flashing light above your head.
So, look, I'm looking at this trade, and of course, knee-jerk reaction, and I will bring this back to the Bucs, so bear with me here. So the Cowboys go out and trade a 4th-round pick for Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, who has not had the greatest of careers since coming into the league. Okay, the other side of that coin, look who's been throwing him the ball.
Yes, exactly.
Look, I liked Mingo at Ole Miss when he came out. I think I had him in that draft as the 4th best wide receiver, and probably in the 2nd round was right where he wanted to go. I know the Cowboys had some interest in him. I don't like giving up a 4th rounder for something like that. Okay.
I agree.
Now that I've had time to think about it, because he's clearly not going to help you this year. Okay. Your quarterback's done for at least a month. He's not going to help you. Nothing is going to help you this year. The more I started looking at it, I think this move has more to do with future years.
Yep.
Because the Cowboys have Brandon Cooks, whose contract is done after this year. They won't re-sign him. You've got a couple of other young guys who are finishing their rookie contracts who they probably won't have back next year. Mingo's 23 years old. They liked him at Ole Miss. They liked him coming out of the draft. I feel like this was a move made for the future of the position for the Cowboys. Again, a 4th rounder is a lot to give up for something like that, because you're basically saying that there's nobody else in the 4th round at wide receiver this year we could go out that's better than Mingo. And You don't know that. I don't know that. Now, taking it back to the Bucs and what the Chiefs did with DeAndre Hopkins, because I know there's Bucs fans that are like, holy crap, why couldn't we go out and get DeAndre Hopkins for what the Chiefs did, right?
Exactly.
Look, DeAndre Hopkins is 32 years old.
Yep.
He is and his contract expires after this year, by the way. He's a free agent next year. The Chiefs got him because they're in win right now today mode. We won our 3rd straight Super Bowl. We're going to make history. We have all of the pieces. Our top 2 wide receivers are hurt. We're going to go get a future Hall of Famer potentially that's going to help us right now this year, and we probably won't keep him.
Right.
Bucs can't do that because, as JP just astutely noted, they're not in win right now mode. You can't go out and get a 32-year-old wide receiver whose contract expires and plan for the future with that. So there's the difference between why the Chiefs can go do that and why the Bucs shouldn't, why the Cowboys shouldn't, and other teams, unless you're up that one piece away, that's when you go make that move. It's the same thing with a pass rusher. You know, Detroit's making moves because they're in win now mode right now, and you just lost Aiden Hutchinson. You got to replace him somewhere. That's what they're doing. The Bucs not making a move, I don't have a problem with that because you've shown you can draft really, really well. I would rather see what they can do in the draft this year that will help them for the next 3 to 4 years, rather than give up valuable draft capital for a guy that's going to be here for a year or two, that's 30 years old, that's not going to be part of the future. That's where I stand on that.
Listen, I agree wholeheartedly. Now, I could argue like a guy with Zadarius Smith. I'd say, well, because I think his contract's expired as well, expiring. Mm-hmm. Hey, get him in the fold, let him feel the culture, and then you have a better chance of re-signing him. And you see how he works in your defense.
Yeah.
And for a 5th-round pick, and let's remember that the last 2 draft class are all still on this roster. Actually, I think Camarda's gone. So, was he last 2? I think so. Yeah. Anyway, he's a punter. Who cares?
Yeah.
Point being, we got a lot of young kids playing on young contracts. So, draft picks are invaluable the last couple of years. You had to hit on them because you were in salary cap hell and had to, take the Brady charge, $32 million, et cetera. So they were extremely valuable. They're a little less valuable now because you have so many guys on young contracts. So I think you could expend a 5th or a 6th to get a Zadarius Smith, and then you bring him in, helps you this year. You evaluate him within your defense, and then you could hopefully re-sign him because you got to find an edge rusher. It's the biggest glaring hole on this team. It's number 1, 2, and 3 on the need chart. Because you just can't get pressure. You can't get pressure with 4, and that's hard. It's hard to win. Which is weird because you got 2 inside guys I think are pretty damn good. Outside guys are just don't have it. I think Yaya Diaby has an opportunity to be a really good player, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. He's still very raw. He's still learning the position, and it's going to take some time. They need to add, I think Yaya would be a great addition. Shouldn't even say addition. He's already here, but add a premier pass rusher with him. Like, I think he's probably tier 2 right now, maybe even tier 3. 1s are just the game wreckers. 2s are really good double-digit guys. The tier 3 I would put as ascending to be double-digit, might be able to reach elite status, but likely a tier 2 guy. You need a tier 1 guy. You need a Bosa. You need a Myles Garrett. You need an Aiden Hutchinson. Those guys don't grow on trees. They don't grow on trees. You're gonna have to overpay the hell out of them if they even become available, because they don't. You got to find them in a draft, and usually you got to be drafted in the top 10 to 15 to find them. So it's rare, it's elite, and it's a huge glaring hole that the Bucs have right now. So Jason Light knows that. He knows it. So that's where they're at right now. They're just not a Super Bowl team. I think with Godwin and Evans, were they? I think if Godwin and Evans were still healthy, changes the entire equation. I think it changes the entire equation. I think at
then
that
you
point,
might be a pass rusher away, right? Then maybe Light makes the move.
Yes, then you might be a pass rusher, inside linebacker away. I think Jason Light would have been more inclined to make a move. But, that fateful night against the Ravens, that should never have happened. Never have happened. It's the reason I think Todd Bowles is going to be fired. And as Rick says, this makes no sense. Bowles aggressive down 3 scores to Ravens, but scared with a win 2 yards away. He hasn't learned. That doesn't make sense. You can't say, well, the game was over anyway, even though I had a timeout and I could have made Detroit snap the ball one more time in a playoff game. It's over. But yet with 6 minutes left, 99.9% chance of losing against the Ravens for 3 minutes left, 1 minute left, you're still, putting your starters in harm's way. Makes no sense. Then you get down with a chance to beat the Chiefs, the 2-time defending champions, on the road, Monday Night Football. Your defense is completely gassed. They got no chance in overtime to stop Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go for one. Ridiculous on so many levels. And at this point, you just can't make the case that this guy's ever going to have a ceiling over 9-10 wins. He's a 500 coach with the Bucs right now, and that's what he is. Great dude, love him, Chips Ahoy, cookies and milk. Great. I just can't say enough about the guy. I love him. He's just not an elite coach.
He is literally a 500 coach, right? That's his coaching record.
That's here. If you throw in the Jets record, it's not even close.
Yeah, not close.
So, but it is what it is. And, it's no shame to be a great defensive coordinator in this league, and he's had some great success. He's a fantastic human being. He's just not an elite coach. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, I think you need a close to elite level coach, and he's not it. He's not it. And I think Jason Light knows that. I think the Glazers know that. So this is not the time to go out and start spending a lot of draft capital to improve this team when they still have a lot of building to do. This is not to say we're giving up on the season. Anything can happen. The 49ers are coming in here. McCaffrey looks like he's on track to play. Mm-hmm. You can still beat this team with Christian McCaffrey. They almost beat him last year. And this, is supposedly a better Bucs team. Now, again, this defense has got to get healthy, get rested, and it's a short week, and get ready to play. And I think there's going to be some residue, frankly, on this team when they look at their coach this week and say, what the hell, man? What the hell? So I think that's a problem. I think it's an issue. And because these guys, not to say that these guys are quitting or, it's just human nature. Right. It's human nature. You're going to go into the battlefield and, you don't know if your lieutenant leading the charge is quite up to it. You're taking steps forward, but you're also kind of looking to the side too. You're like, you're not charging in full throttle. You're not. It's hard. It's human nature.
Do you think there's any chance Todd Bowles doesn't get fired, but demoted? Like, would they still want him back as the defensive coordinator and they just replace him at head coach? That's kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah, it's unheard of. And I think it's it kind of smacks of the way Bowles got the job.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's healthy. It's sometimes it works.
The defense isn't great either. So,
the defense, look, your defense is what it is. It is what your record says it is. It's the worst defense in football, or one of the 3 worst defenses, and he's in charge of it. And I can't sit here and say it's completely bereft of talent, or it's been, absolutely decimated by injuries. They've had some injuries, but that's just regular NFL stuff. I don't think there's been any like horrific injuries that have, I could say, okay, he just doesn't have the personnel. That's not the case, you know? So no, he has to wear that. He has to wear that. I mean, if Todd Bowles gets fired, I don't think there's anybody running into the street saying, this ain't fair. I don't see it. And so I think with that as a backdrop, if you're a Bucks fan, yeah, the season's still very much alive. You can win the division, you get into the playoffs, but we all know at some point he ain't going to go for 2.
Yeah.
And he's not going to protect the players in terms of their health like he should. He's not.
So if Todd Bowles,
what it is.
Yeah, and so I'm in the same camp as the rest of the country that was watching that game, because everybody wants to see the Chiefs go down, right? Nobody wants an undefeated team. I don't hate the Chiefs. I write for the Chiefs. I get it, but nobody wants to see another undefeated team. And everybody was like, he's going to go for 2. You have to go for 2. And when he didn't, I think that pretty much put the last nail in the coffin for him.
I agree.
Even had they won the game eventually, had they won the coin toss and pulled the Chiefs and drove and scored a touchdown, I still think he's second guessed about that choice.
Sure.
If he tried it and they didn't make it, I still think you prop him up for the aggressiveness. You don't hold that against him, which is weird because that's how football and coaching works, right? You're always taking guessed about everything.
I'll go back to my war analogy. If I'm in that platoon and, at least, the last time we did this, at least he gave us a fighting chance. He made the right decision. It may not have worked out, but he made the right decision. And then you still have confidence in your leader. I think you made what everybody feels is the wrong decision and it didn't work out. And now you just lose confidence. You lose confidence. And in terms of playing football and having a leader, that's a tough one to overcome for Todd. It's tough for the players to overcome. It leaves residue. It leaves mental scars. And you should say, well, look, they're players. They should be tough enough to handle this mentally and just move forward, take orders, shut the hell up. I get it. That's the way it's supposed to work. But human nature. And when the leader continually fails and his decisions, whether you can say they're sound or not, if you're first guessing the Mike Evans thing, who was injured during the week with a hamstring and got injured in the game, and you think he still should have been in the game to beat the Ravens, I'll argue that till I die. Okay. But if you think that, it still remains the fact that he got injured. The decision was wrong. It was wrong. Same with Chris Godwin. If you want to defend a decision, bottom line is it was the wrong decision. If you want to defend the 2-point decision, okay, fine. It was the wrong decision. Mm-hmm. So he's getting a lot wrong. And whether you agree with the decision-making or not, or how it was done or the process, but he's on a losing streak. He's on a big-time losing streak. And in terms of big decisions, the timeout, we won't even talk about that silliness. That's ridiculous. Leaving Mahomes 29 seconds and 3 timeouts to go 30 yards with one of the best kickers in the game. Either. That's just ridiculous. It's panic because he has no idea how to handle the end of games. None. It's the same guy that shut it down because he thought Tom Brady was going to throw an interception late in the game in a spot that he's never done it in his 21-year career. I mean, again, love Todd, but man, time and time again.
Look, maybe he didn't watch.
Just awful.
Maybe he didn't watch that playoff game between the Chiefs and the Bills when Mahomes did that with 13 seconds. Okay, maybe he wasn't watching that game and he didn't know. 13 seconds is all he needs, and he left more than 20.
Unbelievable.
Fire him now. I'm heated up, JP. Let's make the call. Call Jason.
Would you have been shocked
live on the air?
Would you have been shocked?
Oh,
if on Tuesday morning you read. I can't believe the Glazers left Arrowhead Stadium, in search of Tay with a smile on their face. I wonder if did they get to mingle? Did the other owners? Their owners' boxes are usually like right close to each other.
Yeah.
So if you're one of the Glazer boys, you're like, hey, think we would go over and get a pic with Tay?
Okay, look, if I'm at Arrowhead and I'm in a suite somewhere, I am not seeking out Taylor Swift. I'm going to find all the Hunt daughters And that's who I'm wanting to mingle with, okay? Screw Taylor Swift. I want one of the Hunt girls.
Okay. On the hunt for the Hunt girls. All right.
Yes. I mean, they live in Dallas.
Well, so how long has the restraining order been in place, Tim?
Look, it's only 500 feet, which is the street their front door, so I can still sit in front of the house.
They're not sharing their location with you anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, they just stopped.
Yeah, I get it. So I think that's, as far as the Buccaneers discussion goes, and we haven't really looked forward to the 49ers game, but I'll tell you what, let's take a break. Come back on the other side. I want to get to all the comments. If you have some comments on the Bucs, Michael Kelly discussion, tee that up in there, and we'll get to all your comments next. We got Lightning to talk about, and the college football playoff. Wow, you don't look happy about that, Timmy.
No, actually, I'm 100% okay with everything in the top 12. I have no issues.
How does FSU get snubbed? That's all I want to know.
Here we go. Let's go to 12 teams. It'll fix everything.
Let's go to 132. We might get in. I want a 132 playoff. Everybody's in. All right, back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCar Tim. JP will be back in a shake and a zip, I'm guessing. Guessing that's the situation here as we talk Bucks. And as we prepare to start trending on X, the hashtag Fire Bowls. can we all agree that maybe we can get something trending here? Like, we're just a little startup, right? Like, we only have a couple of 100,000 people watch the show every day. But I feel like if everybody watching the show that's a Bucks fan that wants Bowles gone, let's just all start posting stuff on X with the hashtag Fire Bowles and see if we can get it trending over there on the little window thing on the side where they do stuff like that. I think that would be amazing if we could string that together as the JP Peterson show. Hashtag Fire Bowles. Let's get it trending. I think we can do it, JP.
It's not the time for that.
No, not yet.
No, I don't think in season. I shouldn't say. I've seen in season elevations. Antonio Pierce did pretty well with the Raiders. Bisaccia back in the day.
Right.
Who else was a great interim that got him going? But who you going to put in charge? Larry Foote.
Everybody wants Liam Cohen to be the head coach. I don't know.
I don't want to be the head coach. I don't want to be the head coach right now. Just
No.
keep working on OC.
Yes.
Keep working on OC.
I'm not a fan of the coordinator head coach on either side of the ball.
I'm not either.
Doesn't work.
I'm not either. But I think Liam Cohen's pretty damn good at his job, and I don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
But that said, I agree. I think head coaching these days it's too much to manage the game, and I mean it's all encompassing to be a great play caller. I think if you're an experienced play caller, if you're a Sean Payton, it's
right.
I think it's a lot easier. I think it's doable. But I think it's tough in this day and age with all the challenges that are going on and with clock management, the different, analytics and fourth downs and 2 go for 2 and all the different things, game management, players play, they're not playing. There's just so much that's going into every single play. And to try and call plays and set up plays is just very, very difficult. It's all encompassing. So I think it's tough. Tough.
This is not the NFL of the 70s or even the 80s.
No.
There's a lot going on right now on the sidelines, and I feel like a head coach needs to have his brain involved in both sides of the ball for the entire whistle to whistle. I mean that, and you cannot do that if you're calling plays on either side of the ball. You can't focus, you can't pay attention as much as I think that you should if you're involved in that. And it's an easy fix, just don't do it.
Right.
So
and I think also, let's get to some of the comments here when I can refer to them. Nathan Elliott, good morning to you, says, if the team does not win the division and have a losing record, going to be hard to silence the Fire Bowl screams. Look, if they finish under 500 and don't make the playoffs, obviously they won't. No, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. Like that's a definite. Absolutely 100%. He will not. Christopher Cole says they need to stop playing zone coverage. They're not good at it. They've never been good at it under Bowles, as far as I'm concerned. And the man-to-man, they don't have guys to play man-to-man in certain situations. I mean, Josh Hayes is not capable. Here's the thing, though. If you're going to play man-to-man and Zion McCollum's not going to travel with the best receiver, then I don't get that. I know Bowles knows way more about his defense than I do, obviously. But that's just not something he does. And when you have such a drop-off between Zion McCollum, which I think he is playing at a Pro Bowl level, and Josh Hayes or Funderburk or whoever's out there when Jamel Dean's not out there, you're, and then case in point, you got D-Hop on Josh Hayes. Meanwhile, Zion McCollum's shutting down Xavier Worthy. Look, I know Xavier Worthy's a fast guy, but he doesn't have the nuance that Hopkins has, and certainly doesn't have the trust that Hopkins has. And you saw the result. D-Hop made huge catches in this game, 2 touchdowns that killed you. And so if you're going to play man, don't you have to put your best man on their best man? It ain't working defensively.
No.
They're awful. The numbers are awful. And not only are, you could say the Chiefs scored 30 points and needed overtime to do it. Yes. But they did whatever they wanted to when they needed to. Does that make sense? When they were down, they scored. When they needed to go ahead, they took the lead. When they needed to win in overtime, they scored a touchdown. So sometimes you stop them, but it may not be a time where they really, really need to score. Because Andy Reid knows how to freaking manage a game. Oh, my Lord. Does he know how to manage a game and call plays? To me, he's the best in the game at it. He is the absolute best in the game at it. And when you're going up against him versus Todd Bowles, who's one of the worst in the game, what happens? Situational football, they kill you. They kill you.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw. Who else we got in here? Tim Haynes. This is your brother.
What's up, Tim?
Tim says, plus Shanahan is a great play caller. Is he?
I would question that.
Super Bowl 28-6.
Yeah.
28-3. 28-3. Sorry, 28-3. Ask Matt Ryan. Christopher Cole says Evans is working on the side.
Which side? The dark side or the light side?
Yeah. Okay. Good. He's coming back, but again, how quickly will he re-injure himself? Yeah, I hope, and I know he's on board with what I'm saying here. It's just like he's working on the side, and when he comes back, he's going to be a huge help. But without Godwin, is this a Super Bowl team?
You need both those guys, right? You need both those guys healthy for this to be a Super Bowl contending team.
I agree. Nathan says most of the fans will forget about this if the team goes 7-1 or 6-2 in the final 8 games. They finish 11-6 or 10-7. Fans will have a sour taste in the mouth, but they will be happy. Listen, if they do that, then and like they did last year, Bowles gets credit for that, like he did last year, and he kept his job. I just think it's going to be hard for them to go 7-1 and 6-2 with the second to worst defense in the NFL and a head coach that doesn't know how to manage games. So, but if he does and proves me wrong, then if he goes 7-1 and win the division, will he get fired? No, he won't. And
keep in mind, if they do rattle off, and go 7-1 or whatever it was, it's not going to be because of his game time decision making.
Right.
And that will never get fixed because the last 3 years we've seen it. It's been terrible. His clock management, his management of timeouts, his end of game management. That's not going to be fixed. And they may rattle off 7 straight wins or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then we're going to go through this again next year. So what's the? We're just going to ride this ride the whole time, or what?
Yeah, there's a ceiling, and it's an 8-foot ceiling.
Yeah,
it works, keeps the rain out. No fun. It's no fun at all. Nobody likes 8-foot ceilings.
No,
except maybe 4-foot people. Nathan Elliott says Bucks didn't deal draft picks for rental players. They plan to draft a DEOLB or MLB middle linebacker in the first round, draft a left guard or defensive tackle in the second round, draft a wide receiver or cornerback in the third round. Not upset with the moves. Yeah, look, they're playing the long game. I get it. I understand it. I'm a little frustrated, but I get it, and I agree with it. If you couldn't find a deal that was going to be working for you moving forward, then it's not a deal. Rental deals, no. Says so as we talk about tiers of outside linebackers, Rick says I guess JTS is tier 4 or 5, soft as butter.
Wow.
I think is there a tier 6?
Maybe there is on the Bucks.
Yeah. I think there's a tier 6, and he's in it. Hello, Nathan. Oh, when I clicked on that, because I'll click on that too.
Hello.
Rick says, we already read that one as well. Rick says Jason also waiting to hire DC after hiring Cohen as the HC. Bowles' decisions have sealed his fate as head coach. Short of NFC championship game, Todd is gone. 100% believe that. If I didn't say that already, I meant to say that. 100%.
By the way, you know who's available, right? As a head coach who won't call plays on either side of the ball.
You're talking about Bill Belichick?
Billy B, baby. Although everyone here in Dallas thinks he's coming here. Everyone here is convinced that he's the next coach of the Cowboys.
I was dead set against him coming here in the offseason. And now I'm watching him on all these shows, and I'm like, oh, I'm warming up to Billy B.
Kind of likable, right? Like, I'm the same way.
But should we be?
I don't know.
Just because she put on a nice dress and got some good makeup and got her hair done. You never liked her before.
No.
She lost a little bit of weight. but you didn't like her before,
No.
and but now suddenly you're wow.
I mean, I have been known to lower my
No.
standards from time to time.
No, I just go back and look at look at the yearbook pictures. No, like look at these last 3 years without Tom. Golly.
Yeah, y'all don't have to worry about it because he's going to be here.
And he wants to draft, and you can't draft. The free agents are a disaster. Unless he's bringing 29-year-old Tom Brady with him, I'm out.
Well, what about
people like, oh, you're crazy? But seriously, now everybody loves Bill Belichick. It's the same damn coach.
Yeah.
Who everybody thought that the game had passed him by. So now he's doing some
still
commercials and he cracks a joke here every now and then. But suddenly now we want him as the head coach. Come on.
he smiles now?
Right. Does that make him a better coach?
It's weird.
It's weird.
Makes me uncomfortable.
It is. It's weird. It's inauthentic. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's like he's almost trying to get a job. Wait a minute.
God.
But seriously, now everybody loves Bill Belichick. Why? Because he's not being a dick. Is that a reason to hire the guy? Oh, he's not being a dick anymore. Well, you think he's going to be a dick when he starts coaching again? Yes.
All right.
Yes.
By that logic, let's go hire Mike Ditka.
Oh, man. Ditka. I love Ditka. I had dinner with Ditka one time. What a great guy.
Really?
Well, with a bunch of people. Not like me and him.
Yeah.
Having wine and no, but what a great dude. What a great dude.
More Cowboy great.
Yeah. Damn good coach, too.
Yeah.
But this just in. Damn good coach.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me a little of Harbaugh, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Not as weird, though. Christopher Cole says, JP, you were right about the Chiefs OL jumping way before the ball was snapped and the refs just let it slide. Is it even a debate anymore that the Chiefs get officiated different than everybody else? Is that even a debate? And if it's not a debate, what the F are we doing? What are we doing?
It's a little maddening.
It's maddening. And it's just like, you stupid. You want to believe these conspiracy theories that there's a script to the NFL and they want certain things, teams to be elevated. But come on, man. It's the NFL. It's the FBI. I just think the FBI was clear too. Yeah.
Right.
Then I learned. And you forced me to believe in this crap. You forced me to believe that there's something going on in terms of scripting and the teams they want favored. And here's the reasons. Number one, you can't make sense of any of the officiating calls. You can't make sense of missed face mask calls that are blatant. You can't. And the fact that they're not reviewable.
Yeah.
Can't do it. You can't make sense of that. And so many calls that you can't make sense of. And so many calls that goes the Chief way. So many calls that they don't call. Like they were not charged. I think the Bucs had 7 or 8 penalties, and the Chiefs had 3. And they, you remember what the Chiefs penalties were because they were completely inconsequential. When the right tackle jumps 2 seconds early, on second and goal, and they get a 7-yard gain, it completely changes the complexion of the red zone possession at that point in overtime, and you don't make that call. And it's obvious. It's as obvious to everyone. I mean, there's memes running around. And now you want to tell me that, okay, we don't, no, there's nothing going on. Is it in the NFL's best interest to have the Chiefs as a premier team and undefeated with Tay sitting up in the box? Of course it is.
Oh, I forgot about that element.
Of course it is. Why do you think they script wrestling? To make it more interesting, to get more viewers,
Drama.
To make more money. I even believe the ads that the NFL is conspiring to make me eat more food. That's true.
I love those commercials, by the way.
And I'm like, it makes a lot of sense.
Jerry's eating rice.
Yeah.
Huh.
So does this. It makes complete sense. What else we got? Anything else? Christopher Cole says, "Morning peeps, Americans have spoken." We're gonna get to that at the end. I'll just, warning. You don't want any political talk at all. But I'm not. I am not. I'm going to tell you this right now. My message is one of unity. It is not gloating. Tim wants to gloat. I won't let him.
I gloated a lot last night.
Well, good for you. Good for you. A lot of people did. And, after what many of us have been through, it's fair to expect that. But I'm going to be the bigger man today. So stick around for that if you care. If you care to.
I can't wait.
First round picks, Devin White and Joe Tryon not producing really hurts the Bucs. Cody, you are so right. You cannot whiff that badly. Oh, those weren't high picks. The JTS thing I never got. Never got that. Never liked that pick. Never got it. And of course, and I told Jason. I joked about this with Jason last time I saw him. We were having a beer. I said, "Dude, put this on your no draft list. This quality." Or you draft a guy, go to his Instagram and see how many shirtless pictures he has. And if it's over 2, he's off the board.
Yeah, don't sign him. Don't pick him.
Yeah. You've heard that story, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Was it 27 JTS had? And the next day, by the way, after I said it on the air, they were gone. He took them off. Lesson learned, Jason Lyons. Lesson learned. Pretty boys don't make good football players.
So what you're saying is that there's a chance I could be drafted by the Bucs.
Not anymore.
I don't have any shirtless pics that I know of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do. Oh, yeah, you do. You just haven't posted them,
especially after that trip to Tampa.
Thank God. Yeah, right. All right. Let's take another break, and when we come back, it's lightning time. I got to get in on the lightning. Was switching back and forth from election coverage to the Lightning last night, and interesting game, fun game, but not a great road trip for them. Where do they stand now at 7-6? We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, the greatest customer service when you need it the most. When things happen, they will find you a great home insurer, and there are some better priced options out there. They will help you with your home insurance. If you have a question about your home insurance now, you're going through something, just give them a call. And I would say give them the right to earn your business. Ask them to shop it around. If you want to get some free advice, which they'll be glad to give you. They help everybody out. They're wonderful. Even if you're not a client, call them up and say, "Hey, I'm dealing with my insurance company. This is going on. And by the way, can you shop around my homeowner's insurance and auto insurance?" That's fair, right? Get some free advice. They do all the work. You save the money, right? That's fair. So I know a lot of you are dealing with this stuff. So give them a call. They can help you out. 813-877-7799. 813-877-7799. Please tell them JP sent you. Back at 3. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you could find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa-based top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to your home for Tampa Bay sports each and every day, especially in the midday. You don't want to listen to national talk radio, blah, 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 about LeBron and NBA and the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Cowboys. Nobody wants to talk about the Cowboys. All right, Tim. We're burned out. There you go. Exactly how we feel in Tampa Bay about the Cowboys. You can listen to this finely orchestrated show each and every day. We start at 10 o'clock live. So if you're going on your lunch break, listen to the podcast or pull it up on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, anywhere, fanstreamsports.com. So we love to have you. As other radio stations go away from local broadcasting, we are here to provide your local fix for Tampa Bay sports with an experienced staff of people that have been there and done that. So we welcome you. And if you're jumping in new, we'd love to have you on board. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. The Tampa Bay Lightning lost again last night to the St. Louis Blues, 3-2. I think 3-2 was the final. Just take a absolute catch of that. Yep.
Yeah, 3-2.
3-2 last night. And so they finish the road trip losing 3 of 4. And they're still 7-6. They're in the second place. Most teams are kind of in this log jam. The Panthers are kind of out front, running away at 9-3. But listen, this is a time where the Lightning are finding out about themselves, what they need to do to add maybe at the deadline or to fix some things. And right now, there's some things that are pretty evident. And first and foremost is this is a Dolly Parton team, Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by that?
Top heavy.
Very top heavy. Very. I knew you'd get.
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've got 4 guys. Great stat from Ed Encina from the Times in his piece today. 4 guys that have scored 30 of the 48 goals. Nearly 2/3, 30 of the 48. Cooch has 10, Point has 8, Hagel has 7, and Gensel has 5. And with Point nicked up and out of the lineup, suddenly you're really searching. Now, Mitchell Chafee had a great goal last night. He and Nick Paul have 4 goals. But really, they got to get more scoring from the bottom lines. Glendening, Mikey Asimont, Zemgus Gergensons, Cam Atkinson haven't scored. Connor Geeky has a couple, but he's a rookie. They got to be better. Now, Geeky, I think, will add and get better as the year goes on, but Nick Paul's got to step up. Chafee's got to step up. Asimont's got to step up. These guys have got to get going offensively. Defensively, I think their road trip has not been great. It's not been great defensively. But I think just in general, they're playing a little bit better defensively. And this was a tough road trip. I mean, you're talking Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis, Winnipeg, who's freaking red hot, and you had a 2-0 goal on them. And that's the other part that you really don't like is you went into the third period tied or down 1 in the last 3 games and got no points. You got to get something out of those 3 games. You got to get 1 point at least, 2 points, whatever. You got to get something out of those 3 games. But it's early. I don't think it's time to panic here for the Lightning, but I think it's pretty evident where their needs are. Now, how do they fix that? Well, they could, go get some scoring at the deadline, but they just need to play better. And I think they're capable of it. So this is once again, I think Vasilevsky's been good. He seems to be better and healthier. Defensively, the new pairs, I think, have looked really, really good. I think just offensively now, they need to just get it going with some of these younger guys and the bottom 6 guys, and that can happen. So it's just, it's up to Coop now to figure this out, get them going, and start winning consistently. And I think there's no question there will be some things done at the deadline to bring in some scoring. At this point, I think that's pretty obvious.
Well, you got to figure it out on the road. You're 7-6. 5 of those 6 losses were on the road.
Yep.
You're just 3-5 on the road. So that's something you need to figure out for sure. And then you're talking about depth and scoring. They were without Point last night, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was almost a gimme loss for them. And I know Vasilevsky, 20 saves, three goals on 20 saves. To me, that's not very Vazzy-like.
No, it's
still
not.
Don't know that he's 100%.
Yeah, so I'm not in panic mode yet, but I do want to see, they're going to have to pick it up. Now they come home, they got the Flyers tomorrow night. So, this homestand looms kind of large. You got to get some points here on this homestand. So, again, I'm not in panic mode. The 6-5 start is identical to last season for Vasi.
Yeah.
So I can't say that, from a number standpoint, he's not better. I think he's got a .903 save percentage. So, but I think my eyes tell me he's better. He's better. So I'm okay with where they're at right now, but they definitely need to pick it up a little bit. Absolutely. All right, let's talk playoff, shall we? Let me pull that up on what were your first impressions of the playoff last night?
So what's funny is when I first saw it, and I didn't watch it live or anything, obviously I was pretty wrapped up in other stuff that we'll get into here briefly in a little bit. But I was just paying attention to the top 4 teams again. In my brain.
You look at that though, and you're like, that's going to change.
Yeah. So, and then of course, I went after I realized what's happening. I went to look at, all right, where's A&M, where's SMU, how far out are they? But I legit, if Texas A&M hadn't got cremated by South Carolina last week, they'd probably be in the playoff right now.
Of course.
But they're not in, and they don't deserve to be in. So as
because they got smoked by South Carolina, right?
Yes, you shouldn't be in that. You probably shouldn't be at number 14, to be quite honest with you. And I know 44-20, it wasn't that bad. South Carolina had a couple of late scores that made it look ridiculous. But I don't have a problem with any of this. And everybody needs to remember the top 4 have a bye. So when you're looking at pairings, it's 5 versus 12 is where you're going. So Texas versus Boise State.
Right.
Does anybody care about that?
There's just so much to be done at this point, though. Right.
Right. We're still very early. Yeah, this is the initial ranking. So a lot of this is going to change the way the season's going, right?
Right.
So,
If in case you missed it, so the 4 buys right now are projected by the rankings: Oregon in the Big 10, BYU in the Big 12, Georgia in the SEC, and Miami in the ACC.
right.
So Miami ranked, and Oregon's 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, BYU 4,
right.
which is a little different from the AP poll. I think that, I'm not sure BYU is going to be there at the end. Not sure Miami's going to be there at the end. Hell, don't even know if Oregon's going to be there at the end. None of these teams, I think, are certainly a lock for this. There's a lot of football to be played. Just this, we got Indiana, Ohio State coming up, right?
Yep.
Undefeated Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee. We got Bama, LSU. So all these games are going to change everything. They're going to change everything. So as it stands right now, those are the 4 teams with the bye, and then the on-campus games would be.
I'm going to put the graphic up on the screen here while we're talking.
Okay, cool. All right, the on-campus games will be Indiana, the 9 seed at Tennessee. Ooh, that sounds fun.
That does.
Then we got Boise State at Ohio State at the Shoe.
Right.
In December. Then Notre Dame at Penn State. Ooh, lucky for Notre Dame. It's a big game, right? So
yep, and then a rematch.
The big game, Penn State, James Franklin, other team wins. And then Alabama, Texas.
And the rematch.
Alabama, Texas.
You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction here.
And I don't mind the rematches, by the way.
No, I don't either. I actually encourage that. It gives a little bit of drama, right? And some backstory to the game. But I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I don't think Alabama makes the final playoff bracket.
I don't either. Although there certainly have been 3 teams with 3 losses that have made the final top 12.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that. Don't be shocked if there's a 3-loss team. I mean, if you've lost 3 and you're in the SEC and you lost the top 5 opponents at the time, there's a chance you could get in.
What if one of those losses was to Vanderbilt?
That's going to be tough. Well, Vanderbilt's going to end up being a top 25 team.
I mean, they already are, right?
Yeah, they already are.
Yeah.
So, that's not the usual Vandy loss.
No.
So keep that in mind. It's not the usual Vandy loss. So I think that, this is fun to play around with. There's lots going to change between now and then. Your A&M guys are on at 14, SMU at 13. So they're the first 2 teams out. And there are teams down the road, down the list that are still very much in this. Very much in this.
Do you remember early in the college football season when I was talking about SMU and how good they were going to be?
You did. You called that one. You called
and
that
everyone
one.
was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
Yeah.
Saw it coming.
Who have they beaten? And please don't say Florida State.
Florida State.
You do not follow directions well.
I never have, JP.
Not at all.
That's why I'm on this show. They have wins against, here's their entire schedule. Nevada, Houston Christian University.
That's a big win.
You lost by
the Lord. When you beat the Lord, you've done something.
And you spanked the Lord 59-7. You lost by 3 to BYU. So if you want to look at good, their only loss.
Quality.
Yep, you were you spanked TCU.
Still
you beat Florida
for a quality win.
State. You beat Louisville.
Okay, all right.
You creamed Stanford. You beat Duke by 1.
They suck.
And you beat 18th ranked Pitt by 23.
That's a good quality win.
Coming up, you've got Boston
Not
College.
That I think Pitt is a great team, but it's
Virginia
a quality
and
win.
Cal.
They were undefeated, so yeah.
I mean, you can only play whoever's on your schedule.
I get it. But they're probably gonna need some help. They'll if they get into the championship game, the ACC championship game, they're in the ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah, to play Miami. Yeah. Well, winner gets in.
I think that would be a good game, man.
But here's the thing: if it's Miami SMU, Miami wins the game going away. Does SMU get in with 2 losses?
Not if you lost to Miami. I don't know. Not if
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. So then the ACC only has one team. Does Clemson get in? If they only have one loss, no, they already got 2 losses, right? So
Yeah.
So does Clemson? So the ACC would have one team.
Yeah.
Sound about right?
I mean, depends on who they are, I guess.
Listen, first of all,
I mean, if SMU is the second best team in the ACC and they're not, then they don't deserve to be in.
yeah, maybe. Lot to play for, but I could just tell you this from experience: the ACC will not get the benefit of the doubt.
No, they're not going to have
Call
any
me-
favors given to them.
Call me crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Anything else in here I want to get to?
But I'm loving the bracket talk, man. I'm loving
I
the
know,
college
it is.
football bracket talk. It's exciting.
Yeah. Rick says the script is real. How does Mahomes limp off the field and then miraculously runs back on the field to win the game? By the way, that injury, like it was like, oh, see it there? You see his ankle kind of move.
And I thought it was bad at first when I first saw it.
I didn't think it was bad at all. I was like, oh, so he jammed it a little bit. That'll go away in a few seconds.
Yeah.
I think he didn't turn it. It wasn't mushed underneath a 400-pound lineman.
No, I
and
thought he
turned
did
the
something
wrong
to his.
way.
I thought he did something to his knee. The way he
That was
kind
his
of.
ankle.
No, it was his ankle. But when I first saw it in real
Oh, okay.
time, just the way he kind of jerked, and I saw.
Yeah. Right.
I thought it was a knee, and I'm like, holy crap, that's an ACL. Like that's immediately what I thought.
A non-contact ACL. Yeah, I thought that too. And then I was like, nah, he's holding his ankle.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, that was just a little. You know how you jam your ankle a little bit, it hurts, but 5 minutes later you're fine. I was like, oh. And he runs back on the field. So that's part of the script.
Triumphantly,
Part
Carson
of the
Wentz is
script.
like, but I want to play.
It was like Carson Wentz. Dude, did you not read your script? Warm up. 3 minutes left in game. Warm
Put your
up.
helmet on.
When Mahomes limps off field, warm up. We got a camera shot ready for you. So Rick is right. The script is real.
Like this show, we script it every day.
Exactly. Tim has one less sack than JTS. Hell yeah, you got a chance. There you go. That's right. He does. 7-1 or 6-2 will be due who they're going to play, says Nathan Elliott. Games left: Carolina, Giants, Raiders, Aints, Clown Boys. Clown Boys. He called your boys the Clown Boys.
I mean, he ain't
Chargers
wrong.
and San Francisco. 6-2 if they lose to San Fran and the Chargers. Listen. So none of these teams are good. Carolina, Giants, Raiders, Saints, Cowboys. Okay, I get it. None of those teams are good. The Bucs aren't either in terms of where they're playing defense right now, and the coach and how the coach is coaching. I just don't have a whole lot of faith that they're going to win every game they should win, and maybe pick off one that they shouldn't. I mean, 7-1 is a lot to ask. 6-2, I think, is your absolute best case scenario.
Yeah.
Which gets you to 10 wins, which might get you something. If you can beat San Francisco, then you have tiebreakers over the Eagles, San Francisco, and Washington. 3 NFC teams that you could be in a tie with. Am I missing anything?
Mm-mm.
Right? So that's that. So if you end up with 10 wins with Eagles, Niners, or Commanders, which is entirely possible, depending on what happens down the stretch. Not likely, because I think the Commanders will have 11. They may have more than that. I think San Francisco, though, they definitely could be there. And the Eagles, hell, you never know what's going to go on with the Eagles. They could go into full free fall. So yeah, there's a scenario, there's a pathway, as they say, to a 10-win playoff team. And if that happens and they go into the playoffs with 10 wins, and they lose, Bowles will be fired. If they go in with 10 wins and they win, got a chance to survive. Chance. I don't think it's automatic because of the decisions that were made this year. I would likely say there's a change coming. And by the way, this also depends on who they think they can get.
Dennis Allen's available, baby. You want a defensive guy?
I think I might put Belichick ahead of Dennis Allen.
I mean, he's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I guess.
But probably so is Bowles. Well,
Yeah.
he used to be.
Yeah, big difference between coordinator and head coach. That is apparently very obvious. All right, let's take one more quick break here, partner. and then we'll come back on the other side, and we'll finish this up with some thoughts on where the country is headed.
So got my power rankings I got to do right out of the break, and then we'll talk politics.
We'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any issues with your AC, your plumbing, or any home repairs that you need, Third Generation Plumbing can help you out. So if you're still trying to find some contractor to do some of your hurricane repairs, give them a call. They can help you out. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com is the website. As I said, they do AC, they do all kinds of things, and they've been around since 1995. John Rodriguez, my good buddy, is the owner. If anything is not to your liking, you give him a call and he will make it right. That's the promise he made to me when we did this deal. So you can trust that they're going to show up on time. They did the other day at the new studio. We had a little issue because Tim went to the bathroom and broke the toilet.
I used the other one.
We had to call right away, and they came right away. Thank God. So Third Generation Plumbing, back in 3.
I hate you.
We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes, like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat. Our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, my friend. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, my friends. Thanks so much for joining us here. Really appreciate you guys jumping in. I don't know about you, but man, what do you got going on there?
Nothing. I'm not doing nothing. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm hearing something. I guess it's from my computer. I was looking at something.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hearing, Aisha Hasni reporting from Trump headquarters. So I thought you were doing that.
Oh, no, that's not me.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so let's get your top 5 NFL. You got your power rankings ready? Let's see if I agree.
Yeah, but we'll go one. We'll start at 1 because I feel like there's more drama there if we go backwards.
Okay, all right.
Because of course the lone undefeated team in the league is going to be the Chiefs, and it's going to be they're going to be number 1. Like I can't not make them number 1. Let's get some production music here. Number 2, I feel like is a no-brainer for me at least. 7-1, the Detroit Lions, who is actually my Super Bowl pick for this year. I think the Lions beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl this year.
Chiefs. Yeah. At this point, I still like the Ravens, but as I peruse my comments from earlier, the script says Chiefs. You are correct.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As long as Tay-Tay's involved, and I think she has a 3-year contract or 2-year contract
with the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, oddly enough, my preseason pick was Rams over the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So we both had the Ravens there. I don't know what the
Ravens. Yeah, we both had the Ravens. I think I had Ravens Lions Super Bowl.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Which I'm sticking. I'll stick with that pick. I'll still stick with Ravens Lions.
Number 3 at 6-3, the Baltimore Ravenettes. Lamar's having a great season, man. He may be second consecutive MVP.
3 perfect passer ratings this year?
Yes.
Holy moly.
And people call him a running back. Come on.
Yeah.
Number 4.
He set the NFL record. I think he now has 5 total.
Yeah.
How about that?
Number 4 at 7-2. I'm still not a firm believer, but I can't leave him out of the top 5. The Buffalo Bills of Buffalo. Still not a believer in Josh Allen. I know he's cleaned up his turnovers. He hadn't thrown an interception until like the last 2 weeks. He had like 17 touchdowns and no interceptions.
So why are you not a believer in Josh?
I need to see him do it more than a couple. I don't know, man. I still think he's Dak Prescott. I really do.
The Bills. Oh, so much better than Dak.
So they're number 4. And at number 5, it was a toss-up for me. Ahead of the Washington Commanders, I've got the Minnesota Vikings.
Sam Darnold has played really, really well. Their defense playing pretty damn well.
Yeah.
And I like their coach.
I do too.
Like O'Connell. Yeah, I do like him. That's
so
solid.
It was
solid 5. Solid 5.
Yeah.
I got no gripe with that.
It was tough though, man. Number 5, I almost had the Commanders. I'm like, man, I just can't put the Commanders in there right now. Maybe later in the season.
Yeah, I don't trust them yet.
Not yet. So there you go.
All right. So obviously something went down last night. We don't talk a lot of politics on this show. We used to, but we try to stay away from it as much as we can. And because I don't want to alienate anybody. And that's my message today is, yes, as many of you know, I'm a Trump supporter and I voted for him. I don't think that's any secret. Because honestly, the Dems left us a zero choice. You left us absolutely no choice. If it was RFK Jr. as the Democratic nominee, and I know that would never happen because the cabal that runs that over there wanted a puppet, and he would not. But I would have seriously considered voting for him, and probably would have, to be quite honest. I don't like all his policies, but I like the dude. And I think he's going to be a great asset in the Trump administration. He really, to make America healthy again is one of my top goals. It's one of my top goals, and he is just the man to do it. And I think he's going to do wonderful things for Americans. But my main message today is one of unity. I so badly want this country to not be divided again. And it's one of the reasons I wasn't really high on Trump being the nominee, to be quite honest. I really respect Donald Trump for what he's done and the sacrifice he's made for this country. I really do. He doesn't have to do this, and the dude's getting shot at. I mean, good God. But I just want to see if you're not a Trump supporter, just for a minute, just open your ears and open your heart and just say, kind of, I know it's hard because sometimes he gets under my skin. I get it. But what he represents is a movement of a lot of millions and millions of probably over 100 million Americans, and at least. And he is, I think, honestly, he's a tough watch. It's not very palatable sometimes. I get all that. But what we need to do as a country is to come together. Joe Biden promised that and did everything he possibly could to divide the nation, everything he possibly could. But I'm so tired of seeing people that I really, really love, and respect, trashing people like me. You're garbage. You're human feces. You hate America. You're a racist. You're a misogynist. Lumping all of us together. It's really sad. I don't do that with Dems. I don't do that. I judge people on how I know them and who they are. I understand if they hate Trump. I get it. But it doesn't mean you should hate me or hate the 100 million people or 80 or 90 million people that are your fellow Americans. And so many people were just tired of being called garbage, the misogynist. We want some common sense. There should not be men in women's sports. No, and nothing against the LGBT community. Love them. And I think if you'd stop watching CNN, you'd find out that Trump doesn't hate you. Trump's not rounding you up. He didn't do that last time. You might not like some of his policies. I get that. He doesn't hate you. We don't hate you. We don't hate you. We love you. But we don't want men in women's sports. And I don't want men in my daughter's locker room. Is that so much to ask? I don't want to be forced to take an experimental shot or lose my job or can't travel and be vilified by the president of the United States to make me a target. That's not America. It's not America that I grew up in. Arresting your political opponents, trying to put them in jail with trumped up ridiculous charges. That's not America. Putting political prisoners in jail because they made a meme or over prosecuting them or pro-life people being thrown in jail for nothing. People barging into houses, killing squirrels and raccoons. What the hell's going on in this country? So many of these things I've grown up. We don't do this in America. And so some common sense, please. And by the way, we saw what Trump did. He knows what he's doing in terms of the economy. He knows what he's doing. And so much of what was done was political. And you're going to see that. There are people that were running this country. And certainly if you think Joe Biden was running the country, I'm sorry. That's not true. So who is? And who's running Kamala? I mean, come on. It's not a serious candidate. And you just say the same about Trump. I get that. But she was not a serious process. And the backfire is Biden may have won this thing. He may have won this thing because Kamala was a terrible candidate. And you can't even argue that. She's never won anything. She didn't earn anything. Terrible candidate.
She didn't earn the nomination.
No, she didn't earn it. And democracy? Are you serious? Prosecuting your political opponents, trying to throw them in jail, prosecuting anybody who's worked for them on ridiculous charges, intimidating voters by prosecuting you if you censorship. Censorship? When do we have censorship in this country? And
Sounds
that's
a lot
fact.
like the Soviet Union.
Exactly. You want to talk about Nazis? That's what the Nazis did. Trump's administration did not censor people. That was big tech. That's Meta. He didn't censor them. That was the Democrats who did that. Trump didn't go after his political opponents and weaponize the Justice Department like the Nazis did. No, that's the Dems. Everything they said about anti-democracy, they did. Trump didn't do that when he was in office. Why is he going to do it now? It was all fear tactics. And so I get it. But I want people to come together. And I know it's going to be hard, but I think we'll have a much better chance with this administration. And look at some of the people that are going to be. Tulsi Gabbard, longtime Democrat, ran the DNC. She knows this is not the old Democratic Party. I used to love those liberals, those Democrats. We get together and we drink beer and argue politics and then give a hug and do it again next week. That's not the way it is anymore because that's not what they are.
Mm-hmm.
That party has changed. I'm not, the Republic. I don't like the party affiliations anyway. I feel like I'm an independent and a moderate. I'm all, socially very, very liberal on a lot of topics, fiscally conservative, but common sense. And I just want people to come together and stop hating each other over politics. It's not the way we grew up in America. And look at the coalition that Trump has brought together. You know, the big reason he won last night, one of the big reasons, black men, black men. Harris did not do that. That's what changed. That's what flipped Georgia. And Georgia was huge. He's brought together black men, Jews, Christians, all races, colors, creeds, Latinos, big time. I mean, the Amish, for God's sakes. We're the difference in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This is a true coalition, folks. It's a true coalition. It's a melting pot of America. And he's going to put America first, which we really, really need right now. We really need that right now. People are hurting. People are hurting. And I don't care how many celebrities and rich people want to tell me how to live my life. I think that hurt their cause as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real world stuff. They have no idea what guys like me and you, Tim, I don't know that you, but I'm a check to check guy. I'm a ham and egger, so I understand the pain that people feel. And I hope, paying $1.75 for gas, I hope that feels better in a couple months or maybe a year, whatever it takes. It won't take long. Energy independence will not take long. And that in and of itself will bring all prices down, folks, all of them. And across the board, your life is going to be easier and more affordable. And that's going to help out a lot. But more than anything, we just got to come together because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, in the media, hate the freaking corporate media.
Mm-hmm.
They are the biggest problem in this country right now because they show nothing but division and hate. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into it just because somebody voted for Trump that they hate you or they're a racist or they're misogynist and they hate LGBT. It's not true. It is not true. We love all of you and we want everyone to come together. And I pray for this country that we can do this and stop this division. And I hope, and I pray that Donald Trump doesn't say stupid shit that pisses people off. A needless stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Be better.
I appreciate his honesty, but sometimes he can say things in a different way.
Be better. Yes, be better. Be better.
JP, I can put a sports spin on all of this to wrap it up in a nice little bow.
I love that. I love that.
So late last night, as I was driving home from, by the way, we have a political bar. Instead of a sports bar, it's a political bar. So last night was their Super Bowl. I was on the radio, listening to the radio, headed in, and Trump apparently had addressed local media. I forgot where he was, where his headquarters was. One of the things he addressed, and look, he knows who his people are. He said professional sports leagues in America have set impossible ticket prices for fans, and he plans to address that issue. So you want lower prices across the board, including going to Bucks games, Lightning games, Rays games?
Yes.
And the gas you pay to get there?
Yes.
And hopefully not having to drive across the bridge to get there.
Yes.
If you live in Tampa, it's coming. So give it some time.
Good. That's great.
And I love everyone. Just because I don't want my tax money to pay for an illegal immigrant in prison to have a sex change operation doesn't mean I'm a hater.
No.
I just think that money can go somewhere else. That's all.
So much of the Trump hate is just media driven, and it's time to stop it. It's time to just stop.
Yep.
Well, let's hope that that happens. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but I take that back. I do have a lot of faith in Americans that we can get through this. The media something needs to happen there, because that's just all out ridiculous. And they just, and you know who you are and why you're doing it. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. And and here's the thing, despite the billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of negative advertising against Donald Trump that was free to the Democratic Party, they still got whooped. People don't watch, they don't listen anymore. And why don't you just change your tune?
No, and they were saying last night a lot of that backfired on the Democrats.
Of course it did.
Even Democrats got tired of hearing it.
Of course it did. Big time. Big time. Americans are smarter than you think they are. The Dems think America, well, not the Dems. I hate even saying the Dems. The people that are running that party right now, because that's not the old Democratic Party. It's not. The people that are running that party do not have the America's interest in mind, and they hate you. You think they don't like you. Even if you're a Democrat, they're using you, and hopefully that chapter of our history is over, and this deep state which is not in your best interest, is taken care of. We shall see. But I think hopefully, at least in my opinion, there's a brighter day ahead for America, and unity hopefully will follow. And if you're a Trump hater, stop hating the people that support him, because not all of us love him. We don't follow him like a cult leader. You only had two choices, and one was absolutely not a choice.
Yep.
Not a choice, in my opinion. All right, Timmy, great job. Thank you to Michael Kelly. If you missed that interview, even if you're not a USF fan, check it out at the beginning of the show. The first half hour was all Michael Kelly, USF athletic director. We thank him so much for joining us. Great job by him today. Some great information there on the college football playoff, where it's going, where college football is going. So as I said, even if you're not a USF person, it's a very interesting interview. You'll love to hear it. So you know where to get that: Apple, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts, or just re-rack it here on Twitter, X, YouTube, and Facebook, and fanstreamsports.com. Thank you, Timmy. God bless America. See you tomorrow.